Hi, welcome back to Janice Converses. Today's topic is on boundaries and how to reinforce them. Now, let's get one thing straight about setting boundaries. Boundaries are not selfish. Boundaries are self-care. We put boundaries in place to protect ourselves, our health, and our psychological well-being. Because unless we take care of ourselves first, how can we possibly take care of anyone else? We do things we don't want to do because we don't want to offend or appear selfish. We self-sacrifice, which ultimately leads to resentment. Even when we're brave enough to set a boundary, what is often missing is the reinforcement. We need to be held accountable to hold up to the boundary set. We need to remind people of our boundaries. People tend to forget or stay in the habit already set. Reinforcing the boundary can seem confrontational and a little selfish. But let's stop that thought right there. If we're changing a behavior or way of working, very rarely does this happen overnight. The boundary needs constant reinforcement by reminding people. Putting boundaries in is a challenge, but holding ourselves to account on them is absolutely crucial to their success. Otherwise, there is no point in setting them in the first place. So be brave, set a boundary, start small, then reinforce it. Boundaries isn't selfish, it's self-care. We don't have to be abrupt or confrontational, but do it we must. It's the only way we can finally stop self-sacrificing and living in resentment and start doing the things that we really want to do. Boundaries essentially define who you are. Anxiety plays a part in how our boundaries function. Assertiveness entails having a strong sense of self-worth and establishing healthy boundaries. So let's do a boundary exploration. Think about a person or a group of people with whom you struggle to set healthy boundaries. Who do you struggle to set healthy boundaries with? Example, is it your wife, your husband, co-worker? Take a moment to imagine what it will be like when you begin to establish healthy boundaries with this person, these people. If your boundaries are too rigid, that might mean opening up. It might mean setting limits and saying no when you don't want to do something. Now, here are 3 questions I would like to put to you. Number 1, what are some specific actions you can take to improve your boundaries? 2, how do you think the other person will respond to these changes? And 3, how do you think your life will be different once you've established healthy boundaries? Remember, you owe it to yourself to avoid being bled dry emotionally. If you enjoyed this video, please put a thumbs up, share it with someone whom you think may need to hear it as well. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and click onto the notification bell so you'll get to see when my next video is going to be uploaded. Until then, take care.